Alright, in this video, this is part 2 of 2 for chapter 8. Let's go ahead and get started. Alright, so last time that we were messing around with the code here, where we finished up was basically doing a check to make sure that the password and the email address matches what we had set here, where we had lowercase password of testpass and then a case insensitive email address of me@example.com. Now if those two matched, we printed out you are now logged in. If they don't match, then we said that the submitted email address and password don't match those on file. So basically we had an if and then an else. Now one of the things that we'll want to do is look and see if the email if either of the fields are empty. This is the last test that we want to do. If either of these fields are empty, we're going to go ahead and tell the user that they need to make sure that they have entered both the email address and the password. Now I'm a little conflicted on this from a design standpoint. Now your text uses this example. The example that I like to use for maximum security would not be to tell the person that they've forgotten to enter their email address or their password. I simply just like to say, hey, what you entered doesn't match what we have on file. Try again. Because we don't want to give them any more information than absolutely necessary for security reasons. We don't want a hacker to know, oh, well, you know, your email address matches, but your password doesn't. You know, it's just we really want that level of security. But what the Ullman is suggesting here isn't too bad. It's just a little bit more insecure than what I like, but you know, you can do it this way too. It doesn't really matter. So what we want to do is we want to put in another else statement here, okay, where we're saying basically if either of these two are empty, okay, then what we want to do is this. Go ahead and print out another error message, and I'm just going to copy the error message that I had up here earlier. I'm going to go ahead and paste it, and then I'm just going to type in what the text is here. I'm going to say, please make sure you enter both an email address and a password. And then we'll type in a line break, go back and try again. Alright. So, again, if either the email address or the password is empty, we should get this error message that tells us to go back and try again. Let's go ahead and run the file here. And I have a little typo there. Let me fix that real quick. Alright, let's run that again. Okay, so if I put in an email address but no password, I should get the error message that says that I need both an email address and a password. Okay? If I type in a password but no email address, I should get the same message. If I type in an email address and a password that don't match what's in the system, I should get a message that says something about the email address and password don't match. Okay. If I type in me@example.com, and then I'm pretty sure it was testpass, then it should say that I'm logged in. Okay. So my script works perfectly to this point. Now the problem that I have is my form is always printing. Okay, it's always printing, and that doesn't need to be the case. Actually, it shouldn't be the case for the most part unless your app calls for it, which the application that we're going to be building later on, actually it does, because you type in your blog posting and then hit submit, and it'll display your posting and record it in the database, and then you'll have the opportunity to do as many as you want without having to click back. It's kind of like Facebook, where you type in what you want to set as your status message and hit send. The form is still there, so you can go right in and do another status message if you wanted to. Okay. All right. I had another quick typo in my message there. I had missing an S, so I fixed that real quick. Okay, so here's what we want to do. So if I'm only processing the script if the server request method is post, which it is after you click that login button. But let's say that I'm opening the script for the first time and there's nothing there. I haven't submitted anything. Well, then I want to print the form. So here's what you do. Right here before you, after you, your if statement for server request method post, once we're finished here, then what we'll do is this. We're going to display the form. And that's just an else statement. Else, and then we simply just print our form. And I'll format that in a second to clean it up. And then throw in a closed curly. Okay? And that's it. And this script's pretty well done. Let's run everything again one more time just to make sure. Oops. There we go. There. Perfect. Alright. Now I'm going to run this script one last time. But it's only if I haven't logged in. Okay? So I'm running the script for the first time. Here's what we're seeing. There is no server request method for post. So it's going to print the form. But as soon as I type in my me@example.com and my password of testpass, all lowercase with the password, and I click login, it's going to just display a message that says that you're logged in. But if I go back and not hit the refresh button, but go up to my navigation box up here, select the site that I'm currently on and hit enter, it'll show me, basically it'll go clear everything out and bring up the form again. Okay? So that's pretty much it for this specific login page. It's not terribly complex, and if I was going to actually build this for a customer and roll it out to them, I would actually shore it up with a lot more security features. But this actually works fairly well. So our register page. Alright, now on this guy, this is a little different because we have some changes that we need to make. We need to have somebody log in with their email address, their password, and their password confirmed. So there are a few different things that we need to check here. The first one is that we need to change this form action real quick to register.php and then make sure that the method is post. That was kind of a holdover from earlier when I built this. Okay, so I have 3 different fields. This is a very simple, extremely simple registration script. There's really not a whole lot to it. So what I need to do is a few different things. One, I really need to make sure that somebody puts in their email address, their password, in their confirm. And I need to make sure that their password and the confirm match. And that's pretty much it. Once I make sure that those two match and that the email address is entered and that the password and confirmed password are entered, then what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to build out a simple welcome page that that we're going to forward them off to by using headings or headers. So let's go ahead and get started on that. All right. Here we go. Let's see. First thing we want to do is we want to check to see if the form's been submitted. That's pretty standard stuff. Okay. Blast that out too. Okay. So I'm going to open up a new PHP tag. Okay, actually I don't even need to do that. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to clean this up a little bit, just like I did with the previous script. stripped out all the HTML out of here. Now it's just a PHP script. So any of that raw HTML is now gone. First thing I'm going to do is print register. That's the name of the page. And I'm going to go ahead and check to see if the server request method is post. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to this login page, and I'm actually going to copy my code over real quick. Some of it anyways. So I'm saying if my server request method is post, then there are a few things that I want to look for. The first thing that I want to do is I want to do the following. I want to check to make sure that my script is successful. So I'm going to type in a quick success check, and that's just simply a variable called problem, and the value of it by default is false. Okay? Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to look to see if the email address is empty. If the email address is empty, then I'm going to say we have a problem. Okay. I'm going to set problem is to true. Okay, set it to true. And then I'm just going to print out an error message. And actually, I think I have one right here in my email address. No, I don't. But anyways, I'll go and copy the error message out of login, and then I'll just paste it and clean it up a little bit. It's just faster than typing in a bunch of junk. Alright, so if the email address isn't entered, then I'm just going to say, please enter your email address. If you're trying to follow along in the book, I'm kind of going off of what's on page 218 to 220, but this is stripped down a little bit more for our needs. So I'm setting problem to true, and I'm printing out an error that says please enter your email address. So if the email address is, if it's empty, then I'm saying please enter my email address. If the passwords don't match, then I'm simply going to say, well, actually I'm going to say if, I'm going to check and see if the password is empty. If empty, so if my password is empty, then I'm going to copy my code that I created earlier for my error message here, and I'm just going to bark back to the user that that they need to enter their password. Now, when we go to confirm a password, we don't need to make sure that the confirm is populated. All we need to do is make sure that their password match their confirm, and if they don't, then do a then just say there's a problem. Okay. So I'm going to say if $post password, okay, equals or does not equal, okay, $_post confirm. So if they don't match, if they do not match, then what I want to do is I want to say that the problem is true, and that I'm just going to say something along the lines of your password did not match your confirmed password. Okay. Now, here's the thing. All I'm doing is I'm checking to see if these if the email exists, if the password exists, and if the password matches the confirmed password. If all those are true, then here's what I want to do here. I want to set up what's called a success check. Okay? Or I've already set that up. What I want to do is confirm that my problem is false. So I'm going to say if there's no problem, then what we're going to do is we're going to actually send them out to our welcome page, which I'm going to build in a second here, and it's just going to have a basic thing. And here's what we want to do. If there's no problem, we want to go ahead and do an OBN clean, and this cleans up our buffer. No, I had that in the wrong place. This clears up our buffer, cleans our buffer, basically removes everything from memory and all that, and then we're going to do what's called a redirect. Okay, and that's just header. It's a built-in function, and then the location that you want to send them to. Pretty easy stuff. And then finally, I'm going to exit out of the script. And that's just another. It's done anyways automatically by the operating system, or I'm sorry, by PHP. But what we want to do is go ahead and do it. Put it exit in there. It just makes sure that everything's nice and clean and tight. Okay. All right. Now, if there's a problem, then we want to, at the very bottom of underneath the other messages, we want to go ahead and print out just a generic error message. We're going to type in a little error message here, and basically it's going to tell them that your submitted email address and password don't match those on file, or actually if there was a problem, or I'm just going to say there's a problem with registering your account. Please fix the above and try again. Okay? Pretty simple, straightforward error message. Okay, and I think that should do it. Let's just double check, make sure that I have everything in here that I need, and I'm pretty sure that's done. Just checking one last thing, and I'm not going to get too fancy here. I just want to make sure that that registration form looks good. We're not going to send any email, any of that kind of stuff. We don't need anything fancy. Alright, let's go ahead and run this, because I think we're done. Oh, right. We need to say, and at the very end, if we go to run this file, and the server request method is not post, in other words, the people haven't submitted, then what we'll do is type in else, and then just simply print out this form. And let's clean this up a little bit here. Just going to right click into a format and then make all my text nice. I'm going to go ahead and run the file. And this is the register page. I'm going to type in any kind of email address, it doesn't matter. The password and confirm, hit register. And you'll see that I try to go off to welcome.php. It hasn't been built yet. But if I have any issues where, say like my password didn't match my confirmed password, okay? If I don't have a password, if I don't have an email address, okay? Just doing all these different checks, and they all work. Alright, last thing I'm going to do real quick is I'm just going to grab my login page. I'm going to copy all my code. I'm going to create a quick new page, and it's just a PHP file. I'm going to call it welcome. Hit finish. Paste my code. Strip out everything but the intro text. So you have your header, your footer, your intro text. Which I'm going to change my title to welcome. And then for my intro text, I'm going to just say the welcome. Okay. Save a file. And then I'm going to go back to my registration script. I'm going to put in an email address and password, confirm it with one that works, hit register, and you should see that I am now sent off to the welcome page. So that's pretty much it for Chapter 8. There's some other stuff in there, but we didn't really have time to get to it, and it's not really part of the assignment we're working on, and some of it's a little more advanced, things that we won't use in this course. So as always, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you have any questions, just let me know, and I'll get right back to you. Thanks.